Well, college athletes will be eligible to be paid as soon as a year from now. It's thanks to a landmark settlement last month. Only on KCCI, Sports Director Scott Reister joins us with more on this billion-dollar question. Scott.
Ben, at 6 we talked about the major shift coming and the impact on an athletic department like at Iowa State. New tonight at 10, the big question, how those billions of dollars will get divvied up.
We're navigating new frontier.
In a way, it's two frontiers. First, how to pay those athletes dating back to 2016 that are entitled to back pay, like former Cyclone Michael Jacobson.
I have zero idea how much money I'm going to be getting.
The Waukee grad played 2 years at Iowa State and 2 in Nebraska.
I would expect it to be something. I mean, I don't know how they're going to quantify what you were worth.
However, the courts decide to distribute that $2.7 billion back pay settlement.
And that will probably determine a lot for all of us.
Will have an impact on the main issue, how athletes are paid moving forward.
Because if the settlement says it's market-based and the plaintiff's lawyers are a part of the process of determining the market, that will probably dictate the go forward.
Market-based would mean the players that generate the money will be the ones making the money.
Is this market-based or is this socialism? And I think what you have to understand is 75% of all our revenue is generated by football players and 20% are generated by our men's basketball players.
Athletes from non-revenue sports would not be making the same.
We can divide it up all equally, but then we'll have another lawsuit from the football and basketball players because they're not getting what the court said that they should get, which is paid for the use of their name, image, and likeness.
Colleges will soon be able to use up to $20 million per year to pay players.
I actually think that there's an opportunity here to clean things up a little, because I think that if we're going to share revenues, we can contractually make some stipulations about what you have to do in order to receive that income, like playing a bowl game, play in the NIT, go to class, graduate.
And possibly even curb transfers, which have come to define college sports.
I think the best way to resolve it, I think to make both parties happy, is like you just make it like pro sports. Like you can sign kids to multi-year contracts.
Athletes like Jacobson say the money is long overdue.
So I think if you look at the amount of money they bring in, I don't know how you say, yeah, these kids don't deserve more than just a free education. As important as that is, and you're providing more than that to these schools. Like you 100% on.
And now paychecks are about to be coming directly from the schools themselves.
I think it's just a evolution of college sports. And I would gauge that 10 years from now, most of us probably won't even think about today as a monumental day.
Well, these changes appear to be happening starting 1 year from now. Pollard told me collectives will no longer be needed as an entity that pays players, since the schools will be doing that themselves. And so much is going to be happening between now and a year from now. It's, as Pollard mentioned earlier, clear as mud about how they get it all sorted out. But it's just fascinating to see what's going to be going down.
It's interesting.
Oh, so much change over the last couple of years. You can understand if there's a confusion or just trying to figure out how everything's going to move forward. Lots going on.
There certainly is. And yeah, the courts are still kind of working through that as well.
All right, Scotty, thank you so much. All right.